Good morning. I will speak English in order to pay tribute to one of the most famous and one of the most prominent people all over the world, George Cadle Prize. We have gathered here really to pay tribute to him as a great politician and a great representative of all the democratic world. So it's a great pleasure and honor for me to be here and to talk about him. We are talking about him as a great democrat and as a great politician because he's known all over the world, and we know that belief is equal to George Cadle Prize, and George Cadle Prize is equal to belief. He really became the father of all the Bolivian nation, and today we need to follow his advice to become really independent and really democratic as a country. Today, his name is known not only in Belize, but all over the world, and all the Ukrainians, a lot of Ukrainians, a lot of scientists, a lot of politicians would like to know his experience, would like to know his way in order to develop our country and to struggle the aggressor. Today, we are fighting with the foreign aggressor, and our struggle is really hard. However, previously, being the representative of the common people, George Cadle Prize wanted to become a politician and to become a prominent figure to struggle against the foreign aggressor support. So today, we have a lot of common ideas and beliefs while struggling the foreign aggressor. At first, being the representative of the common society, George Cadle Prize wanted his country to become independent. So he led the political process and he led all the society in order to become independent. And Belize became independent eventually. However, previously, being under the British rule, it wasn't the prosperous country. However, George Cadle Prize was lucky to transform his country into the really prosperous and well-known society. Our country had the same destiny. At first, the territory of Ukraine was partitioned between the Russian and between the Austro-Hungarian empires, and only in the beginning of the 20th century, we were lucky to become independent. However, the period of independent Ukraine was quite short. And unfortunately, Ukraine was under the rule of the Soviet Union. Only in 1991, Ukraine became independent. But despite of all the efforts, we were not very successful in the foreign policy and in the internal development as well. Because we didn't have such a prominent leader as George Cadle Prize. We had a lot of leaders, but unfortunately a lot of them didn't know what to do with the foreign relationships, they didn't know what to do with the internal development and domestic policy, and they couldn't, at first, they couldn't gather the society as the one machine, as the one engine of democracy and of the prosperity development. However, only after 2022, we received the real opportunity to become united, but it's a little bit late, unfortunately. So today, even today, we need to follow all the advice of George Cadle Prize to develop Ukraine as a democratic country, to develop Ukraine as a democratic state. Because today, the representatives of the new political elites should know how to build a really prosperous country. Today, we feel the support of the Belizean politicians and of the Belizean society. We know that there is a long distance between our states, but we feel all the support of the state in the international political arena. Belize supports us in the United Nations Assembly. They support all our initiatives and all the peaceful processes in our state. The Belizean politicians became the supporters of the peace formula of our president, and also the Belizean politicians politicians want the stable and good peace be in Ukraine. However, unfortunately, today we are in the state of war, and we feel this support. However, we need to struggle with all the society all over the world. And the faraway beliefs helps us too much. So we need all the democratic experience of George Cadle Prize to transform our country. To transform our country not only democratically, politically, not to have all the reforms, but also to have all the economic prosperity Greece has today. Today we can use the experience of this country in order to become well known in Europe and to return to the family of the European nations. Previously believed if the real representative of the Central American states wanted to become independent in order to develop separately from the British Empire and from the British rule, and George Cadle Prize became one of the first people to support this idea. And today he is called the father of the Belizean nation. And we need to form our nation completely too. So we can use this experience and we can become the real Europeans. Today we are going to the European Union and we would like to join the Euro-Atlantic structures as well. So we can be prominent in the Euro-Atlantic region and in the European region too. Today Belize is really known for its economic ties in the Central American region. Belize is very active in all the activities which are connected to the regional integration. George Cadle Prize is famous and well known not only as for his development inside his country, however also he is very well known in all the region, in all the Central American region and all over the world. Today Ukraine can use this experience because even democratic Ukraine, only democratic Ukraine and well-developed Ukraine can become the part of the European structures and of the Euro-Atlantic structures too. So we can use the Belizean experience to do so, and also all advice and all the experience of George Cadle Prize can help us. Today we need to learn not only in the political way, but also in the economic way, and even we need to have the scientific research of the political developments George Cadle Prize provided in his state. Of course, we have the scope of the Latin American and Central American studies. However, unfortunately, previously we have not paid a lot of attention to this country and to the developments of the Belizean politicians. However, it's time to change the situation and it's time to use the experience that they have in the development of our state and in the political development of all the forces we have in Ukraine. Today we have a lot of contacts. Previously, only since 1999, when Belize and Ukraine established their diplomatic relations, we haven't had so much contacts. But today, when we see that Belize supports us, and it's great, we started elaborating our relations, and we would like to deepen our relations nowadays. In that case, we can work all together on all the platforms all over the world. We can develop democracy, we can foster reforms in all the countries and in all the regions, not only in Europe or in the Central American region too. And today we can use the experience lab and all the advice lab from George Cadle Prize to do that. It's really important for our states to work all together and to foster democracy in different regions. Of course, not only Belize, but Ukraine Africa has some problems, but Ukraine too. These two countries have some problems with their neighbors. And they have had the problems with their neighbors during all the periods of their development. But George Cadle Price in Belize became the first who wanted and who could overcome all the barriers connected with the neighboring problems and with the problems with the neighboring states. And of course, he could follow his country to and led his country to independence from the British rule. We need the same things here in Ukraine. Today, we also would like to have the peaceful environment. We would like to have the really prosperous nature, economically, politically, and we would like our economy and our country to flourish in the nearest future. So we can use all the information, all the data connected with the history and with the political reforms in different countries. Because not only democracy, but the harmonic way and the political harmony should be the first thing and the most important thing in every state. Today we see that in Belize, and despite the fact that it's so far, we need to say that we can work all together, and we do so. Not only the political contacts which we have now, but also the people-to-people contacts are really important. And George Cadle Price, when he was the Prime Minister, he knew that. Because the people-to-people contacts, and we know that, can make the societies closer, and through the people-to-people contacts we can conduct the really fruitful relations with the faraway countries as Belize and Ukraine. However, as we see today, our society, the representatives of our society and the representatives of the Belizean society work all together in order to make two countries closer and to foster the relationships between them. It's really important for us because every voice, especially the voice of so democratic and prosperous country as Belize, is really important for us. In the international political arena, and not only on the official platforms, but also during the day-to-day communications between peoples all over the world, because all the Latin American countries and all the countries of the Caribbean should know about Ukraine, and the Ukrainians should know about Belize and about its prominent history too. However, the most important thing for us is to follow the advice and the experience of the leader of the Belizean nation, the father of the Belizean nation, George Cadle Price. Because even today, he is the most prominent person in the country's history, because he led his country to the independence. He didn't stand at the same place, and he was not afraid of being so open and being so lucky to ask for that. He really wanted his country to become independent, and due to that, today we need to pay tribute to him. And we also need to say that our countries can work all together and can do a lot because they can foster democracy and they can foster reforms and the communications between really prosperous nations all over the world. Thank you so much. Glory to Ukraine, glory to Belize. Дякую.